the DG UK podcast, where Dad talks about loads of boring goalkeeping stuff. Bye!
Hello and welcome to the Goalkeeping Podcast. Myself, Martin Brennan from DG UK. On my own today, I'm out waiting to start the Ware Centre up in Ware Football Club. Fantastic venue. So just up here now. Always get here silly early. Talk from my dad to be able to do that. Make sure you're there nice and lively so you've got time to prepare. Anything goes wrong, then obviously you've got that time to be able to sort it out. So just up in now waiting. Wanted to just to speak about today about gloves and the importance and the non-importance in the grip on gloves. I think the last week, I've been doing training sessions again. Not seeing goalies for a long time, and very, very upbeat and very concerned about their grip and whether it's good or whether it's bad. And it just got me thinking about the amount of times that you actually don't use the gloves in terms of the grip in a match. You know what? Let's look through an average game. You could probably do this yourself. Kick off, whistle blows, kick off, game starts, and what's the first thing you may do? You may touch with your feet. It might be a back pass. You take a touch from your right back. Take a touch, release it at your left back. The team moves up the pitch. Ball comes back again. Ball comes over the top. It bounces. You catch it. Now, for me, there's no real challenge for that when that ball bounces and just bounces into your hands. So whether you've got gardening gloves, cooking gloves or goalie gloves, for me, it's just a matter of having a good hand shape and being able to catch the ball. Then what might you do? You might have to deal with a foot save, a block, a 1v1, another through ball, another back pass. You might receive a shot. So the first opportunity you might actually get to use the gloves is potentially in a shot. Okay? More than likely, with the way the balls move now, this day and age, you're probably going to end up parrying it. You're probably going to end up making a save with your arm. You're probably going to end up making a save with your foot. Because the balls move around so quickly now, and they're swinging and swerving, you're more than likely not going to end up using the actual grip on your gloves. And I'm not saying grip's not important. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, let's not get upbeat and carried away with how good or bad or ugly or whatever the grip on the gloves actually are. Let's focus more on making sure that your hand shapes are in a good place. Because in a match, I would love every single goalie who's listening to this, whether you're 6 starting out grassroots or whether you're 32 playing in a football league, I would love you to be able to mark down and make a note of how many times you actually call on using them at the actual grip on the gloves. And for me, I reckon in a match, you're probably going to call on them 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 times in the entire game. Come for a cross, yeah, you might catch it. Is it to do with the grip? For me, no. It's to do with your hand shape, your timing, your power, your desire to want to catch the ball. The use of holding other people off around you. And even if you do come for that cross and you can't catch it, you then revert to punching. Do you need grip on your palm to punch the ball away and have good technique? No, it's nothing to do with the grip. So you may then pick the ball up. You may go to a volley, side volley, whatever. Again, you're not using the grip. So for me, and it is killing a little bit of the big businesses, and the marketing and stuff like that they do, but for me, this getting very upbeat about what latex and the what latex is it, what colour is it, what millimetre is it. Listen, for me, it's utter bollocks. That's how I see it. Are you going to feel a little bit more comfortable with a slightly thicker latex more than a thinner latex? Yeah, that's just a preference. But this becoming upbeat, and meeting 10-year-olds and saying, well, no, it's, my grip's not the right grip for me. I just think it's utter rubbish. Utter rubbish. And you're convincing yourself in your head that something isn't right for you, rather than trying to just take gloves for what they are and use them for what they are and not rely on them catching the ball. in 50 years' time, when we don't need to play in goal because there'll be robots playing in goal and catching everything because their technique will be perfect, we'll cross that when we get there. But at the minute, we don't need to focus so much and worry so much about the technique on, the latex and the thickness and the colour of the latex on your gloves. Okay, so is it a rant? Yeah, it's probably a little bit of a rant, but it's more expressing my thoughts to hopefully spread the word a little bit on this, that don't allow yourself to get so caught up in it. Close friend of mine, Rob Blackburn, I do loads of work with, and Rob's helped me out massively in the past. You know, constantly says to me, show the truth in what you're doing. Show me the truth in you believing that you're not good at something. And he's so right. He's so right. And I pass that on to the young goalies. I worked with a goalie yesterday, would never name who they are, would never name their age. But he said to me, I'm not good at crosses. And I'm like, okay, no problem. Right, let me throw a few balls up for you to start with, just to get you warm, open up your back. Really, really nice technique. So I'm like, right, so what you've just said at the beginning is untrue because you've dealt with that really, really well. Yeah, but it's when the ball's being kicked in. Okay, no problem. So let's go back and let's work on kicking a few balls in with a light volley, so it's got a little bit more float on it, it's a little bit more height on it. Come and deal with it. What happens then? Goalie comes out of 10 balls, may catch 6, may miss time 2, and may get caught underneath a couple as well. But overall, I've dealt with it. Okay. So I bring him in again. Okay, so again, I'll go back to what I said at the beginning. What you've said at the beginning yourself is also untrue because we've just done it. You've dealt with it. Yeah, but it's when body's in array. Right, so all you're doing is you're trying to convince yourself that you're not good at something by constantly putting barriers in the way, where I've knocked the first barrier down by you showing me your basic technique. I've knocked the second barrier down by you saying you can't deal with balls that's kicked into the box, which is utter rubbish because you've come and dealt with that. I can't knock the third hurdle down because the third hurdle requires 6, 7, 8, 12, 14 players in and around the goalkeeper to have to come and deal with that ball. I can't recreate that because I haven't got the bodies to do it. So what I am going to say, though, is if we've got through the first 2 barriers within the first 10 minutes of the session, I'm convinced we'll get through the last barrier. So my point of that is that can you convince yourself you're not good at something? 100%. I play a lot of golf and I convince myself when I'm on the tee, there's water on the right, don't hit the water. There's water on the right, don't hit the water. And that's what I'd say to myself in the past. And now I'm like, right, there's water on the right, but hold on a minute, there's also water on the left. What's the worst that can happen? The ball goes in the ball goes in the water. Fine. So now can I just focus on the middle of the fairway? Focus on the middle of the fairway and just focus on hitting the middle of the fairway. And it's just a matter of changing your mindset rather than going, I think I'm going to hit the water. Well, you're convincing yourself that you're going to hit the water. So guess what? You're going to hit the ball in the water. All right. And it's the same with goal kicks, convincing yourself that you're going to kick the goal kick off the pitch. You might as well just pass the ball off the pitch then, because you're so convinced that you're going to do it. You're completely convincing yourself that you're going to put that ball off the pitch, and then you can prove yourself right. So it takes me back to the gloves again. Show the truth in where the gloves do not work for you as an individual, as a goalkeeper. And it's rubbish. Utter rubbish. So you might drop the ball. Okay, well, that's not the gloves. All right, it's not the gloves. Sometimes can gloves be really dried out, and they're really, really dry and bone dry, and you're finding that goalie that normally is quite tidy and is catching a lot, they might be dropping a little bit more. Yeah, because it's going against completely what you're trying to achieve, because the gloves are completely bone dry. So you'd actually have more grip by spitting on your hands like they did in the olden days, rather than have gloves that are completely dried out with mud in them. They're going to go the complete opposite way, and they are going to be dry and slippery. So they're actually going against what you're trying to achieve. So as I said, it is a little bit of a rant, but I'm trying to just educate people in. Don't convince yourself that that's right. And there was another one the other day as well. Oh, these boots are not right for me. Why? They're just not right. Yeah, that's fine, but explain why they're not right for you. What's the problem? Are they too small, too big? No, the size is fine. They're just not right. Again, just completely convincing yourself that the boots ain't right for you. And that's why you're kicking the ball as you'd class as wrongly, which is complete and utter bollocks again. The reason the ball's going off to the left or the reason the ball's going off to the right is because of a technical issue, not to do with the boots. Could the boots play a very, very, very small part, as in 0.5%? Maybe. I'm still not going to agree with it. Maybe. I believe that if someone gave a professional a set of golf clubs, no matter how big, small, fat, thin, long, floppy, flexible, I don't care how they are, I know that professional would be able to still hit a very, very good round of golf because they're relying on their technique, their experience, and their match-related situations, like hitting the ball behind a tree, and instead of trying to bend it round the tree, they chip it out onto the fairway, and then they look to get the ball onto the green. They use their course management. And our course management as goalies is anything that you're in doubt of, just play safe. Don't take a risk because there's no need. So, listen, everyone's their own person, but I would not get upbeat about this latex works for me and this one don't work for me. Because the other issue you've got is, and I found a professional, and I'd never name who this is, but a professional that played in the Premier League long time ago, always said to me, and I remember it as clear as day, I have to wear these gloves. Okay, great. When you're younger, and I'm younger, you go with it and go, oh, there must be bloody good gloves then. What happened then? They discontinued the gloves. They stopped making that style of gloves. He had an absolute panic attack trying to find as anywhere he could to get hold of these gloves. Couldn't get hold of them. And it was actually Adidas that were doing them and making them at the time. And he was panicking. And he's panicking because he's now found something that he feels comfortable in and feels that he plays better with them. And if you're buying a pair of gloves because it makes you feel better, it makes you feel more confident, then okay, I can understand that. I can understand that. Yeah, people that love and adore money and would happily step over people to get that extra pound have to drive a lovely looking car. They have to. Not because they like to, they have to, because they have to keep up with everyone. So they force themselves to make sure that they have to do it and they have to like it. But with these gloves, he was just panicking. So in the end, he had to change the gloves because they'd stopped making them, which really unsettled him for quite a period of time. But what happened after a period of time, he calmed down, he got on with it because he had to get on with it because he had no other choice. The company at Adidas weren't making that specific glove any longer. So he had to change it. So I am doing a really, really short podcast today. All right, really, really short. Just purely because it's not upsetting. It's just concerning that we're, as young goalies, and I think for parents as well, we're getting a little bit caught up in, if Larisse is wearing them, they're good enough, or I agree with your son or daughter that that they're not right for you because you dropped that one ball in training, so we've got to change your gloves, or we've got to spend more than X amount on glaze. It's utter rubbish. It's complete and utter rubbish. All right, be that goalie, and I can't remember what club we were at now. It might have been at Wickham or Fulham. I can't remember. And actually it was at Leyton Orient. I put a couple of pairs of horrendous gloves in and said, right, you're going to all going to take turns to training them today. And the boys all took the piss out of each other while they were training with them. But do you know what? The goalies didn't perform any different to if they had their own gloves on, which had their own fancy name on them because they were being sponsored by that business or that company or that brand. And I was just trying to prove a point with them. They're like, yeah, I get it. I understand. So what that also does, it also can settle your mind and your mindset on, I have to have 38.5-minute warm-up. Every game, I have to. Now, if you turn up late to a game, you're not physically going to be able to do a 38.5-minute warm-up. You're going to have to do a 11.5-minute warm-up. So you've got to be able to adapt. Now, if you're that person that's totally convinced yourself that I have to wear these gloves, they're made for me, then you're also going to be that person that's going to be completely anxious, who's going to be panicking like hell because they can't do a 38.5-minute warm-up. They've got to do 11.5-minute warm-up. Problem. Massive problem. Okay? So, look, really, really short podcast today, but I really wanted just to send that message out about gloves, all right? Just want to mention, just to finish off today with the camps, we've got 2 spaces left on the Senior Elite Camp, potentially 1 by the end of today. Non-league camp, I may have a couple of spaces, but we are full up, but we're just waiting on a couple of the goalies to completely confirm. Once their place is gone, that's it. Training sessions up and running, Loughton on a Monday night. 4:45 young ones, 5:45 middle-age group, which is 10s, 11s, 12s, and then 13s upwards is 6:45 to 7:45. Wednesday night, we're in Hartford, Harton Common, 6 o'clock till 7 o'clock. Any goalies between the age of 7 through to 12. And then Ware on a Thursday night, Ware Football Club, all age groups at 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Friday night, we're down at Waltham Abbey, Town Mead, Sports Ground, 7 till 8 is the younger group, 8 till 9 in the older group. Okay? So the centres are back up and running. I'm over the moon to be back because it's been a bloody long time. Got loads of exciting things coming up. We've got a trip down to Brighton with Stewie Owens. We've got a goalkeeping ID day, which is going to be only for Stewie's goalies again. PSV Eindhoven, we're going there again in Feb. And I'm just currently on the hunt at the minute to select 6 goalies only, and I've got 3 already, to go to a real elite goalkeeper camp, which I'm only going to take 6 goalies on. Okay, so if you feel like if you're listening, or your child would like to come on a real elite event, it is selection based only, so I'd need to have a little bit of background on you. But yeah, that's something that I'm looking to do. What we're going to do on that is look through the goalies will have to put set pieces together. They'll have to know how to do a defensive wall. They'll have to know how a formation would work. That's what they'll be learning. Okay, they don't need to know that before the camp. That's what they'll be learning. They'll know how to do a presentation to the team. That means if the goalie's going to ask, the manager's asked the goalies to do a presentation to the team on how we're going to defend a free kick, the goalie's brave enough, confident enough by the end of this camp to be able to deliver that. We're going to look at 1v1s, 2v1s, 3v1s, 3v2s, 3v3s. We're going to look a lot on the tactical side of goalkeeping on that one. So, yeah, that's going to be a real elite one. That's coming up potentially in July or August. Okay, so if you want to come on that, let me know. Senior goalies, yeah, you've got the Senior Elite Camp, so there's a couple of spaces left, all right? Jersey guys, if you are listening, I am coming out on the 18th of 18th of August to deliver a one-day event on the 18th. Venues to be confirmed yet, but we're going to do 2 training sessions, 2 classroom workshops, and then I'm going to play a little bit of golf in the evening. So looking forward to that. But listen, have a lovely weekend. All right. Don't get yourself caught out on gloves. Okay. Just make sure you find something that fits nicely. Okay. But change your mindset. Your hands are the ones that are working, not the latex on the front and back of the gloves. Take care, everyone. See you soon. Bye-bye.
The Goalkeeping Podcast is sponsored by Planet Leasing, who are based in Loughton, Essex. For all deals on cars and vans, please visit their website at planetleasing.co.uk.
Wake up! Dad's finished the podcast. Bye!